For a country in Iran that already seemed relatively economic isolated, how much more pressure can be put on them? And does that have an impact on oil prices?
It's a lot of pressure on Iran for sure. Whether it has an impact on oil prices is another matter. What's had an impact on oil prices, of course, is the effective blocking of any Iranian oil exports, which has been going on for a bit of time now. But Iran really has a very difficult time getting oil to pass through the U.S. blockade. So the oil market impacts of that, obviously work over time, but there's nothing incremental on it with these new sanctions that are really trying to deprive Iran of getting involved in any other international transactions, buying anything through any mechanism from anyone. And the initial soundbite went out to 60 countries.
Right, and absolutely. And I mean, most of the speculation seems to revolve around what might involve China and trying to shut off their ability to access some of these products. I mean, I know there's sort of the official numbers of what we know China has been buying and maybe some of the unofficial numbers, but they are a big buyer here. If there was some sort of real mechanism to cut that off, whether diplomatically or otherwise, does that impact the market?
Has impacted the market in an indirect way. Certainly, you can think of most of the oil that was being exported from Iran through the spring going into reserves or preventing reserves from being depleted. And that's a different issue from the consumption side. China has managed to reduce dramatically their consumption of both gasoline and of diesel, both in negative territories. They were reaching a peak already, and now they've accelerated it through public policy, and that's certainly going to continue. They have population that is not growing. They have managed to reduce driving, and they are kind of at the brink of what could happen to them. But they've taken actions to make sure that they don't have to export more than their need to consume, so they need to refine less. And as the price reaches high levels, they don't want to buy it anyway. But there is no doubt that China and its own actions in depriving itself of a combination of oil for refining and then of products to export have done a lot to keep the balance in the market. They've done almost as much in a way as the IEA countries have in putting oil on the market. And that's something that we're going to see ending sooner than we're going to see any big change on the Chinese side.
Well, I am curious about exactly where Iran's leadership, if we can call it that, actually stands in all this. I mean, we saw they're basically standing up, or at least refusing to give in to the military bombardment. Is there some sense that the Republican Guard or whoever's really running things now might be a little bit more receptive to talk because of the potential economic impact of whatever Besant and the U.S. are about to roll out?
Well, I think we're seeing that being played out right now. The interesting thing will be what the results will be. But we've had the president of the country, an elected official. We've had the head of parliament, the speaker of parliament, another elected official. We've had the foreign minister, another kind of elected official, all saying that it's time for Iran to do something to deal with poverty at home, to deal with 80% inflation, and to deal with the very unhappy public. Now, the question is the IRGC encouraging this, or are they doing this against the IRGC? I would say they're not that bold. So I'd say that this is an IRGC effort to try to alleviate the pressure, to try to find another period of time when the Strait of Hormuz will be open, and the leadership would not be doing what they're doing in opposition to the IRGC. I think they're really the factor behind the scene. And you can see that in other areas as well. Over the last week, the IRGC has been masterminding stopping the supreme leader and the theologians from getting involved in national security in a direct way. Yeah. And they've now done that in two different ways. One is that they're keeping the supreme leader out of selection of people involved in intelligence, including, the head of intelligence, saying and convincingly so, that you don't need theological background to be an expert in intelligence, and it may be something that turns you aside. So they are reducing the nature of the regime, but they're recognizing that the public is very unhappy, and is very unhappy because of the economic stress it's under.
Do you anticipate, Ed, that we will see at some point a return to normalcy with regards to access through the Strait of Hormuz? Basically, what was free reign prior to the war starting basically 6 months ago, because even if Iran comes to the negotiating table, there's been a lot of discussion about whether they would control the Strait of Hormuz with Oman, charging tolls, et cetera, et cetera. What is your vision for what potentially the Strait of Hormuz will look like in the future?
When you think of the future of the Strait of Hormuz, you need to think of three things. One is who's going to be ruling in Iran. A second is what are the exports going to be through the Strait of Hormuz? How much is going to go through other mechanisms, and how much is going to just decline as a result of the decline in oil demand around the world? So these are three things that have to be taken into consideration. Certainly, the world has changed in that we have Iran and Oman looking at ways to regulate flows through the Strait of Hormuz. One can argue that's always been a desirable factor, which has been ignored. Somebody ought to be looking at safety of vessels going through the Strait of Hormuz, who is certified and who isn't. Certainly the encouragement of shadow fleets has not encouraged that. So if there were to be an overall agreement among all of the countries that are on both sides of the Strait of Hormuz about certification, about charging for the inspections, that would be a different matter from Iran using its muscle power. We are now at a point again where the U.S. is putting pressure on Iran, and part of that pressure will be certainly on the Strait of Hormuz and what can pass through and what can not. So we'll see whether, and it's an open-ended question, the IRGC decides to do more bombing of more vessels. They've allowed more to go through. Particularly, they've allowed shuttle vessels to go through, and including shuttle vessels that are reloading VLCCs. East or south of the Strait of Hormuz, depending on how you look at it, who are heading east, and particularly to China, and to a lesser extent to India.